Hello. I've got some razors for you today. We're going to do another face off. I got my first Jnat the other day, so I've got 3 razors here that I've got Jnat edges on, and to be fair, all these razors were ones that were a bugger to get an edge on the first time around. I've got this little, you see, is it focusing? Just about focusing. A little Heartring. Who made these by H. Ecker and Solm. No, it's not Solm. Anyway, you get the idea, it's German. There's quite a big following there in razors, but I've not been able to get that one shaved ready, so I thought I'd give it another go. And this is a rather lovely little kind of, like all these, like a rattler glind. And that's quite a subject which is well, argumentative, we'll say that. This is an EDV Neistrom, and all of the EDVs I've ever had have been brilliant. This really reminds me of the Class or Claws little razors, the little rattlers. In fact, I dare, well, I kind of think it's about the same. I'm sure I've got one of these in my box. One of the Class ones. I have to get them out and do a little side by side, because I reckon they'll hold. I say that, and I don't know what this sweeping grind's called. I know it's got a name, but I forget. It actually goes probably back further than maybe a Class, but I'll have to check that because I'm not too sure. And I've got this rather lovely little Henckels, and I'm a massive fan of J.A. Henckels. Is possibly one of my favourite brands actually. One of my favourite razors is J.A. Henckels 17, and I love that. It is just a lovely. That's the one that fell out of my slipcase. That's why I say to people, don't ever keep razors in slipcases. That slipped out and went woo, doof, and split the scale off the original Henckels scales, like. But it's got some lovely scales on it now. And as a backup, just in case they all fail, because they've already failed once, I've got this rather lovely Gong, and it is a 2633. I love my own razors. What's that on there? Is that a bit of tape, or is that a... Yeah, I love my own razors. I've never had a bad one, I don't think, like I always say. Needs a bit of a polish, this Gong. I've got another Gong somewhere. And well, I've not had many Gong razors, let's put it that way. I've probably had about 4 or 5, but they've all been great. So what I do is I'll try the Jnats first. I got the Jnat from a dude straight from Japan, and supposedly it's a stone from roughly the 1980s. There's no marks on it. There's loads of saw marks and gouge marks on it, which is quite interesting. And supposedly it was a barber shop that shut down quite a few years ago, and he says the stone's roughly from about 1980, but I don't know enough about Jnats to even comment, kind of thing, and you're kind of a bit in the dark when they ain't got an actual stamp on, but it does. He said it smells like a barber shop, and I can honestly say it does. My cuticle excuse me, was straight from a travelling barber from the 1950s. They'd been in a lockup for a long time, well, a shed actually, I think. And they both more or less smell the same, and even the slurry smells really similar, I must say. And I'm sure I did read somewhere that Jnats, if you're going to pick another stone that they're most similar to, it is the cuticles. But I've only used it today. I've been handling it for 2 days. I flattened it with my DMT die plate, and then I took it through the diamond grits all the way to fine, which I can't remember the grit size for that now, well, at least the one they state, but it don't leave no scratches in it, or at least visible ones anyway. It's a lovely stone to use, I must say. It's definitely one of my favourites already. It's got kind of almost like a greenish tinge to it. I don't know if it'll clean up a little bit more, I don't know. Not that I care. But yeah, it's got like a, it reminds me of avocado a little bit, but it's not that green, so I don't really know what it does. But I think when the avocados start getting a bit funky, they go a bit brown, don't they? And that kind of colour in between. And today I'm using a Cello aloe vera one, and straight away it's definitely a firmer lava than what I'm used to with my pucks. That's not criticism, it's an observation. Just probably needs a bit more water, and then it starts sliding all over my face everywhere probably. No mate. On my YouTube thing, I've set my comments to hold them, because I just didn't want it to turn into some shit shower of abuse basically, like the internet sometimes can. But because I did that, I've missed out on loads of comments because I didn't realise they weren't going to send me a notification every time somebody actually tried to comment. I've only just found them, so I reckon I've lost quite a few. So if you have commented and I ain't replied or anything, I am sorry, like, that weren't my intention. It was just I didn't want it to turn into a shit show of abuse, like I said, like the internet can. Right, and I'm very happy with this, right? Because this, yeah, it's the Henckels, right? And I bought this because it's well, I'm not gonna say it's a rare one, but it's one you don't see to as much. And it was in, basically, I think it was nearly NOS. I don't think it had been used without box. And it's a 50 and a half, and the half denotes the square round tip. If there's no half, it's generally kind of like a squarish tip. They do vary a little bit, but it's because it's a half. It's a half. You see it? Don't think you can you? But stick it in front of my face. It sometimes does it then. It likes focusing on my face. I don't, but camera does. Anyway, you're gonna have to trust me if you can't see it. It's a half hollow, and a lot of Japanese razors are half hollows. And that's part of the reason why I like a lot of Japanese razors. That's my cut, by the way. It's my war wound from the old Wade and Butcher. And I actually re-watched that video, and it's because I was talking, and I did a movement that I don't normally, like an extra movement. Pardon me, I've not long had my dinner. Chops in though. Really happy with that. I've tried to sharpen this twice with the Shatton progression that I normally use, and it was basically making a wire edge. And I know that can be a little bit subjective, because one person's wire edge can be a little bit different from the next, but I think we all understand at least the concept of a wire edge. Sometimes I call it a bitty edge as well, like. And basically it kept on doing that. I tried it with, like, well, I was going to say loads of tape, but what I mean is like 3 layers of tape. Tried that, went down to no tape, 1 tape, did all the different tapes. No joy, man. And I really put some effort into it, some time, and some great thought as well. Popping onto various forums, trying to, you know, gain a bit of knowledge about it, but no luck, man. And this, we try this, the EDV Neistrom. See, I thought I got this ready, and it was a bad shave, but when I looked under the microscope, I must have had a bad day, man, because it weren't up to my normal. Self-imposed high standards. Every now and then, something sips through the net. But do you know what shows it up? Your freaking face, man. That's what will show you up. That's why you've always got to, like, you know, if you're gonna attempt to sell anything shave ready, man, you got to shave it. Otherwise, you're a fraud in a way. Because how the hell do you know? And this had a little microchip on that when I got it, and this is like nearly pristine. I don't think this has been shaved with when I got it. But it had like this little chip in it. And bear in mind that these, you know, like I call them rattle grinds. I believe a lot of people do as well. I'm trying to just, oh, it's not working, is it? Hang on. So these are some of the finest razors I think you can get. They really are. You know what I mean? They start off from such a thin place after they get rid of the spine, get into the body of it. It's just thin, thin, thin all the way, man. And that shaves just like it should as well, because I've had so many of these grinds over the years. I've had Class, I've had this EDV, I've had J. Hellbergs. I think I've nearly had all of them. I've even got a CV, I think now, that's this grind that I didn't actually see a CV before. Yeah, and that shave just like it's meant to, and they're a really nice shave, man, for such a little razor. The problem with me is the shanks. I've said this before, if you watched these before, but the problem with me with them is the shanks are a bit too dainty, I think is the word that I'd like to use. And I'm a builder, and if you spend years and years and years being a builder, your hands, in a way, can give up on the finest things. I do quite like the smell of this cello though. It's a different aloe vera, it's a different kind of scent to what I'm almost used to. Like they're always a bit flowery, a bit fruity or citrusy or whatever, but it's nice and calm. Creates a good laugh, good slide and everything. I always say to people that these cellos, Cellar even, are some of the best price point. I think, did I say it in the last video? Might have done, hello. But yeah, for your money, they're definitely some of the best. Right, while we're at it, I'm going to test this bloody Heartring and all, because this has been a bugger, man. Like, again, wire, kept on creating a wire. And the Jnat sorted it out, innit? I tell you, it's a good stone. I don't think he was bullshitting me now. Always a bit apprehensive when people start going, oh, it's from above. Or, is it? Did you know the dude? Right, hang on, I've got to watch this cut. If you've ever shaved and then shaved into a cut, right, let's think about this. It blinky hurts, man. Right, hang on, let's just try and get my fingers and thumbs. There we go. It's only a little cut, but the little thing was quite deep. And in my head, I was literally thinking I've got no wood to touch, because I was going to say, I ain't cut myself for ages, long time. It's quite a finicky razor, I must say though, that Heartring. I'm happy though. Like I said, that weren't taking an edge before. And the edge on this Jnat, it's got like a rice, it's a hazy shine. There's probably better words to describe it in the Jnat community, but I do think he wasn't lying though. And my progression was Shapton 2000, chase, no tape, chase the bevel, chase it to the edge. Yeah, chased it to the edge. spent a bit of time on the 2000, making sure the 2000 went all the way to the edge, because a couple of them you've got to torque it a little bit, like so that little EDV, you had to torque it a bit on the heel and the toe, especially on one side. One side weren't too bad, but the other side you had to. And at one point I used to just put my fingernail right next to the edge as I was gently going, like doing my strokes, my laps. Well, it's not what I planned to do, but I've tested God almighty, 4 razors, just because of curiosity killed the cat. Especially on that Heartring. I was perplexed with that, because it's looked like it had a good edge and everything, but when I got the razor, because my microscope's not like a high-end one, you know what I mean? It's one of them Tom Love, with a little screen and everything. Like, it's brilliant for this. But yeah, don't get right in, you know, like full on, see the strands of metal and stuff, which I will get eventually at some point, because that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, but when I did put it as close as I could to the little sort of aperture bit at the bottom and then zoomed in, yeah, you could see it weren't going to the edge, basically. What some would say, I didn't quite set the bevel properly. But yeah, it's good there, man. Yes, what was I talking about? Yeah, progression. So yeah, spent a bit of time on the 2, went to the 5. Again, spent a bit of time on the 5, making sure it was 5 all the way down, got rid of the 2, all the way across, heel to toe, both sides. And I checked all 3 of those razors properly, because they've been a bugger before. And then created a diamond plate slurry on the old Jnat. And I did roughly 30 strokes, not laps, 30 strokes on each razor on the fixed slurry, and then I diluted this slurry, and then I probably did about another 10 more strokes, and then I went and washed all the slurry off, washed everything off the razors, and then probably did about 10-15 on, well, nothing, just water. And then I did a few laps on my little strop, like the paddle strop that you can do the tension on the green side, and then on the diamond side, just a few laps, not too many, and Bob's your Uncle Fanny's your art, mate. I'm happy with that, especially that Henckels. Might keep that for a while. I have to check what other ones you've got, you see. If I've got loads that are similar size and similar grind, I don't keep them. You know, if I've got like 4 or 5, not 4 or 5, I've got 3 that are roughly the same kind of size and pattern, I generally don't keep them then. Or it supersedes one of the other ones. I don't see the point in keeping loads of the same razors. I've got my preferred razors, and this is one of the grinds, man. So proper shoulderless, proper stabiliserless, like a true one. It's almost like a tiny little baby round point. Well, I'm not going to say a filly, because obviously they're hollow ground, but you do get some 14 patterns that are like more sort of half hollows. I've never been lucky enough to even come across one yet. But hey, hopefully there's still time, mate. And if not, I've got plenty to get on with. Right, toodaloo. I hope you've had a good day. I'll see you later. Bye bye.